Today is Tuesday, May 19th, 2026, and today is National Devil's Food Cake Day, which feels like one of those things that sounds more intense than it actually is. Welcome to Wait, That's Random, This Day in History. I'm your host, C.L. Burns, voice actor, audiobook narrator, and your guide through the odd and unexpected corners of history. Let's dive in. On May 19th, 1910, Earth passed through the tail of Halley's Comet. Scientifically, this wasn't considered dangerous, but that's not how everyone experienced it at the time. There were concerns about gases in the comet's tail. Some believed it could poison the atmosphere. Others thought it might have more serious effects. And that led to a reaction. People bought gas masks. Anti-comet pills were sold. Precautions were taken for something that, in reality, posed little threat. And that's what makes this moment stand out, because the event itself wasn't the story. The reaction was. Sometimes the way something is understood matters more than the thing itself. And sometimes that kind of uncertainty shows up in other ways. In 1780, parts of New England experienced what became known as the Dark Day. The sky turned unusually dark during the day, and on May 19th, that effect continued to be felt across surrounding areas. At the time, there wasn't a clear explanation. Without context, it created uncertainty, concern, speculation about what might be happening. Today, it's generally understood that it's a combination of environmental factors, smoke, cloud cover, atmospheric conditions. But in the moment, none of that was known. And that changes how something feels. Because when there's no explanation, the mind fills in the gaps. Sometimes uncertainty creates a larger reaction than the event itself. And sometimes the same idea shows up in how things are presented. Today in 1883, William F. Cody, known as Buffalo Bill, launched his Wild West show. It was based on real events, real places, real experiences. But it was also shaped for an audience, organized, framed, presented in a way that emphasized certain elements over others. And that created something different. Not just a record of history, but a version of it. Something people could watch, understand, and remember. And over time, that version became part of how this period itself was seen. Sometimes the way something is presented becomes more familiar than the reality behind it. And sometimes that kind of influence shows up in music. Pete Townshend was born on May 19, 1945. He is best known as the guitarist and primary songwriter for The Who. He played a major role in shaping rock music, particularly through the use of concept albums like Tommy and Quadrophenia. These aren't just collections of songs. They were structured narratives, stories told through music. That approach expanded what an album could be, from individual tracks to something more connected. Over time, that influence carried into how music is written, organized, and experienced. Sometimes what defines someone's work isn't just the sound, it's the structure behind it. At first, these don't seem connected, but they start to line up. A natural event creates a reaction larger than the event itself. An unexplained moment leads to speculation. And a real history becomes something shaped for an audience. Different situations, but each one shows how perception can shape reality. Anyway, that's what came together while working through May 19th. Stop by tomorrow and we'll see what the next day brings. If you'd like to hear more of my work or explore the books and projects I've been a part of, you can find it all at waitthat'srandom.com. I'm C.L. Burns, and I appreciate you stopping by. I'll see you tomorrow.